Yes, sir. Days in effect. We are back. AT, Locc, and today's special guest, Tanaka, TwiceToasted.
What's good?
It's that time, the spotlight. We've been talking about journeys and acknowledging specific people's dazes and unique dazes in the days. We in the days. But it's that time where we spotlight exactly what Tanaka's got going on. He's got his guitar. We got some beats.
Yes.
You got hella to talk about. We already know that. We got your whole PhD degree journey, that path.
Yeah.
We got the trip to Norway in 2 weeks. We got the the Dreams project.
Yes. Dreamcatcher.
We got hella.
We got content.
We got content to talk about. We got the CBD brand as well. We can keep going. But straight into it, man. What is next? What is the moves? What is the expectations for the rest of the year? What is going on for TwiceToasted? The whole brand that you got, everything you got going on.
Let them know who you are, man.
Right, let them know. All right, so I would say the biggest thing that y'all should expect from me is kind of an uprooting. So I'm going to be going to Norway in about 2 weeks to start a 9-month music program at a school called the Lillehammer Institute of Music. So that.
In Norway.
In Norway.
That sounds crazy.
It sounds prestigious.
It does. So yeah, getting there, getting to the point where I can leave the country, getting to the point where they allow me into Norway. You know, I don't want to get ASAP Rocky.
Before.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
what happened to ASAP? I'm trying to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, so
that,
you were planning out some details about that university. You mind touching on that for like 30 seconds real quick about what's going on with this university and why it is such a big deal that you're going out there, man?
absolutely. So only 48 students get accepted to this university every year. And these are students from around the world doing various types of music. So the idea is to educate these 48 on international music. So how we can get into other markets around the world and make our craft kind of the best it can be.
Man, that's legit, man.
Sounds like a great experience. Another
like an incredible
notch on your journey, on your belt. It's going to be great to see how you progress through that.
Legit, man.
Let's talk about the project, the Dreamcatcher project. Came out July, you said.
Yep, 4th of July.
Been about a few months since it's been out.
Yes.
Still buzzing. I think I heard one of the first singles, No Strangers, a little bit before, maybe like 4 to 6 months before.
Yep.
And when I first heard that, I was like, man, this is a hit. And from then I was like, all right, Tanaka he gonna eventually stumble his way on the show. But now we finally got you on.
Yep.
Let's talk about how you came about assembling the Dreamcatcher project. Obviously, you got half beats on there, half songs. You mixed, engineered, produced most of it.
Yep.
So it's like, how did that come together? How did that whole project? What was the inspiration behind it?
So literally the inspiration for having 32 tracks on an album were kind of to set myself up with a kind of like with the schedule. So from my standpoint, the hardest part about marketing music has kind of been what do I post on what days. So my idea was like, well, if I have a song or an album that has 32 tracks on it, on the 16th we promote track number 16. On the 17th we promote track number 17.
And I think that's what I saw with most of your IG promo. And it was, at first I was like, okay, where can I find it though? But I was like, once you sent it to me, once I heard the whole body, I was like, this is what I see what you were doing now. You kind of see the bigger picture.
But that was, it's like a small technicality on just the number of tracks, but the content, I feel like, again, for me is way more important. Kind of being, the person who produced, mixed, mastered, engineered most of the album. It was like, I wanted, it to sound a certain way. And because of that, a lot of the songs are kind of old, to be honest, where it's just like when I was learning how to mix and master bass, I made the song called Weeping Will. So if you listen to that song, it's like very, very bass heavy. And then you can pick out little details. Oh, this is when, I started getting good at using violins, or this is when I got good at using synths. So for me, titling it Dreamcatcher was because it was kind of me along the journey of catching my dreams. Or like, these are the little milestone pieces or the little milestone beats that led me to the dream, or that are gonna help me catch the dream now at this point, because I feel like I'm no longer chasing dreams. We're catching them out here.
Real talk.
Sure.
Catching dreams in the days, to say the least.
Yeah, man. Did you have any expectations for that project at all, or are you just trying to get to a point where like I know a lot of people when they come into dropping stuff, they're either trying to boost like their interactions or trying to boost their features or their collaborations with other artists, or trying to just get their name out there. With this project, what was your goal with it?
I think it was definitely a combination of all of those. You know, just trying to make my footprint kind of initially, because I've always heard people say the sequels suck. So this being my second album, my second 32 track album, I was like, all right, well, like in order to not kind of keep going down that beaten path, like let me make sure my sequel has said something about me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And the only way that I could make sure that I didn't make it a project that I dropped and just kind of forgot about was to make sure that the songs were songs that kind of really touched me in specific ways. Like I was mentioning before, like every time I listen to one of those songs, I remember like a moment where I was I hit save, hit export, listened to it, and I stood up out of my chair like, yes, like this is what I've been trying to do for the last 8 hours, like that kind of thing. So I think that to me is what's gonna keep me always talking about the project. So definitely not one of those that I plan to just release and not think about, but always want to bring up, because for me everything is a lesson.
And that kind of brings me to the whole story and what I kind of got from the project. It seems like you were kind of literally catching individual dreams or individual moments, and those were the different collection of songs and beats and everything on there. And that's obviously, you kind of talked about that, but that's one of the best parts about music in most people's life. Like if you play a certain song, you remind you of an event you had, or reminds you of a time you were living your good life, or whatever it be. But that's sometimes the best part of music. So you're literally catching individual moments and kind of putting it together in a collection. Obviously, it's a great project, streaming everywhere. Dreamcatcher.
Yes.
Go check that out if you haven't heard it. TwiceToasted. One word, right? Spelled together.
One word. Yep.
TwiceToasted. Locc, you got anything else?
No, man. I'm just ready to hear this man let
He
loose.
got his guitar. First time with the guitar on the Daze, man. You breaking boundaries
Let's do
on the
it.
show. Like I said earlier, one of the most diverse artists we've had, arguably. What's up, man? Last words. You got anything else you want to talk about towards your project? Anything else you want the people to hear?
Oh yeah, man. It's Twice Toasted treats, man.
Oh yeah, Twice Toasted
You want
treats.
to touch on the
Yep, yep.
CBD
Let 'em know,
brand,
man.
man.
Yeah. So kind of like we were going before, after getting diagnosed with diabetes, I had to figure out, how to be this new person. And the chemical that helped me the most was CBD. So from my perspective, me finding out about CBD and being able to use it correctly only happened because of, my career path and the fact that I was studying medicine. So my, I guess, goal in it was, let me get this, not well talked about product out to people. So this was, again, for me, this was 2016, before the CBD movement kind of on. Yeah. So
booming.
So from my perspective, it's just like, this is an idea that, I've kind of been telling people for a minute. And it got to the point where, like, I was talking about it so much, my dad was like, why don't you just go pitch your idea so we don't have to hear about it anymore? And I'm like, all right, bet. Did that at an event on Kent State's campus through LaunchNet, and they gave me $200. And to me, like, that was all I needed as motivation. Like, a university gave me
This is a start.
money to put CBD into things that I can distribute to the masses. Like, not only is that kind of, I don't know, taboo, but this was something that I now had, under my notch of experience.
That much more.
Exactly.
So again, I was just like, this is something that's going to benefit diabetics. So not only does the CBD kind of counteract the symptoms of being a diabetic, but my Twice Toasted treat specifically has a class of compounds called nootropics. These are basically brain vitamins. So if you've heard of anything called brain fog, or people that have trouble bringing up words like that, things like nootropics go in and they counteract things like that. And a lot of those things have a neurological basis. So these are things that you've probably heard of before, like ginkgo biloba is good for memories. You've probably heard of turmeric. So things like that are chock full in this Twice Toasted treats. So it's not only for diabetics, it's for basically anybody who has memory issues. And with the way that Americans eat, that's like 99% of us. So it's
We all
like,
need some supplements to maintain
Absolutely.
with what they putting in the food nowadays.
Yeah.
All that, what is on TwiceToasted.com, right?
TwiceToastedTreats.com.
Okay, you got two different websites then, right?
Yep, absolutely.
My man's out here. Twice Toasted,
He's
you
amazing.
can go purchase lifetime access, I believe, right, to all your music.
Yep. Purchase
so go
lifetime
check that out,
access.
TwiceToasted.com, and then TwiceToastedTreats.com. CBD products.
Get hit.
Get healthy. Supply your body. Conquer the days. Y'all
Give
know
it
what
what
it
it
is.
needs.
Give it what it needs. We gonna give you the more vibes. We gonna give you guitar vibes. We got some beats for Tanaka. We got everything. Whenever you ready. Yo, it's AT,
It's Locc.
and we are here. Daze is here. Daze is in effect.
And we just want to make sure you guys know where to find all the Daze content, whether it be on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook.
Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And to stay up to date to all of our content, make sure you follow all the links in the description below.
Daze is in effect. We'll see you next time, people.
Till next time.
Yeah.